Fam, what is up? Happy December 31st, or whenever this is finding you. It's wild. I have a channel message, but I just want to say thank you for being here if this found you. I have been in deep reflection over this last year and just the fact that it's December 31st again. And a year ago, I was going to a Creed concert in Vegas, and I'm just like, where in the fuck did the like last year go? And I know that I'm not the only one in this. And as I've just spent a lot of time reflecting on what's happened this last year, it's given me this like deep sense of gratitude for how far I've come. And it's so fitting that today it's raining here in Oceanside, California. It feels just like a cleansing going into the new year. And what a beautiful way to ring in the quote unquote new year, if you will. We're leaving 2025 and going into 2026. Still feels weird to go by that calendar, but here we are. So yeah, my message for you today is to be present going into this new year. And I hope that you take this presence with you every single day moving forward. A reminder to slow down, a reminder to spend time with yourself, to really get to know yourself on a deep level. That is something that I'm so grateful for this last year, is that I have been able to get to know myself on a deeper level. I was forced into solitude for a good chunk of it, so I'm already burping, so we already know the energy is flowing today. Oh my god, the burps just keep coming. And I just want to talk about this card that I pulled today. It's from the Sacred Rebels deck, if you haven't already. This was in one of my most recent channeled messages, if you will. And also curious if like people are still into card pulls, because I am someone who used to pull cards all the time, and I've realized, it's just a tool, just like anything else. But it's funny to me because that used to be my like purpose and my drive, and I'm thinking about incorporating it more into the work that I do, because I realize that the greater collective still needs that tangible like proof, if you will. And also just I get excited with new cards, like there's something to that. Anyways, this card today is what is already with you. And this card really made me think, because so often we look for external validation, we look for external factors, we look for that external proof that is already within us. We are always searching for the next thing rather than being in the present, which is how I started off this video. And when we are not in the present, we tend to miss a lot of things. Although truly we can never miss what's meant for us. But if we are not in the present moment, how is that shaping our future, right? And the book, of course, talks about what you are seeking, perhaps by exploring far and wide, is actually right under your nose. And some of you might have just made that face like I did, because I did that when I first read that, and I was like, shit. There is unlimited creative potential. And there is always something more. But a lot of times we get stuck on that. We get stuck on, there has to be something more out there. There has to be something better out there. But what if right now is the most perfect moment? Because it's a moment you'll never get back. The version that you are right now of this soul star in a human meat suit is the most present version of you. It's the most evolved version of you that has ever lived up until this point. And so why rush to be better? Why rush to change? Why rush to be somewhere else rather than be in the present moment? And I feel like a lot of this comes from a lot of us numb right? I know I numbed for years. I was a raging stoner for a lot of years. And it's taken me a long time to come back home to myself. And it was a slightly painful process, if you will. More so because I had to face deeper parts of myself that were numb, that were hidden away. I don't want to say necessarily we're lost, but our society has thrived on numbing away the pain. Our society has shown us that we have to numb in order to have a good time, in order to truly be ourselves. And it's a relationship that I have worked so hard on the past couple of years, is especially this last year, is coming home to myself without the substances, without the alcohol, without the external sources, but just to truly come back home to myself. And we get so caught up in the way that we think things are supposed to be. We get so caught up in how we want things to be rather than allowing them to just be. Like, you sitting on the other side of the screen right now is enough. You don't have to be anywhere else. You don't have to be anyone else. You get to just be the person that you are on the other side of the screen watching this video, and I'm so grateful that you're here. This last year has taught me to be present, to enjoy the simpler things in life. And I've always been someone, I'm a Taurus moon, y'all. I love the simple things in life. I love the luxury things in life, but I also love the simplicity of things in life. Like a campfire under a clear night sky, the sound of the ocean waves crashing against the shore, or a hot bevy on a cool rainy day. I just looked up, it was my birthday time, so that feels significant. So I invite you to take a moment and just be. To take a deep breath, to stop searching for everything outside of you and know that you have everything within you already. The future is not some far off place. That change that you want is not in a far off place. A lot of times it's just right here, right in front of us. It's right under our nose, and we neglect to see that because we desire something else other than where we currently are. But right now, in this very moment, is all we have. So I invite you to just be present with me. There's something so powerful about sitting in stillness, about sitting in silence, that I've learned to appreciate. And the amount of solitude I've had over the last year has really it's just opened my eyes to so many things, because there's something about being in the middle of the desert without cell service under a clear night sky that just really opens up my soul on a different level. Almost more so than like any medicine ever could. And this year has taught me to surrender. I think that's something we all struggle with as humans, is surrendering especially our need for control, our need to change, our need to be somewhere else. And when we can learn to just surrender to the flow, to what we're presented with, to the right here and now, there's so much magic right in front of us every single moment of every single day. But you have to slow down. We have to slow down in order to see it. It's funny because this morning I was talking with ChatGPT about these pinpoints of feelings over the last 3 years, almost 4, since my divorce. And how I've had these feelings that I have been seemingly trying to force to come back to. Feelings of freedom, feelings of spaciousness. There was a point in 2022 when I had a buttload of cash post-divorce, and that kept me going for a year. So I didn't have to work for 6 months. I could take the time off and to just have space. And when I did that, my gifts started to roll in, although I didn't realize that they were my gifts at the time. But I had slowed down enough that I was able to see everything. And I couldn't miss anything if I tried. And I've been trying to come back to that freeing feeling ever since. That feeling of spaciousness. And I always thought it had to do with the money. But if I've learned anything from this last year, we're gonna get real down, dirty, and vulnerable for a minute. Because the majority of this last year, I have lived with less than $200 to my name. Most times less than 100. And it is a wild place to be in the society that we're in. And I have been many a version of me this last year. And it's taught me a lot. It's taught me that no matter the number in my bank account, I'm still me. It doesn't change who I am. It doesn't change how I show up in the world. It, in a way, sometimes, yes, it did dictate how I showed up in the world because I was coming from a place of lack, when really I am whole and abundant and complete just as I am right here in this very moment, talking to you. Or talking to myself. And I'm more free now than I ever have been in my entire life, and that makes me emotional. Because we always think that freedom, again, is this far off place, that one day we will be free. And truthfully, freedom is found within. Freedom is choosing to be free from patterns and wounds and thought processes and beliefs and a mindset that's keeping you stuck. Our words are so powerful. So, so powerful. Another pinpoint feeling that I've been trying to come back to since 2023. When I started this YouTube channel, when I started my podcast, I had joined a mentorship that seemingly nosedived after 2 months for many reasons. And the amount of creativity that poured through me in those 2 months, that seemingly just flowed from my fingertips, was wild. And I've hit certain moments of that over the last few years. A lot of times it's had to been it's been a result of substances or medicine or however you want to deem it. And I wrote several books last year, one of which is available on Amazon. It's called Healing Unhinged, if it speaks to you. And it's wild because I'm able to go back and look at these books. A couple of them are still unpublished. And I'm able to go back to the beginning of this YouTube and the beginning of my podcast, and I'm able to see the evolution of myself, of where I have come from, where my nervous system was, how much I was holding in my body when I started all of these ventures. I just keep thinking back to when I did Combo last year, and I wrote 2 books in the matter of 2.5, 3 weeks. It was insane. Words flowed from my fingertips, and something that's come up recently is that yes, our creativity matters, but what if we don't produce for anyone but ourselves? What if those books were just for me? I put so much pressure on them to be released out into the world, and it kind of almost felt like I was putting myself in a cage. And if you know me, I have a lot of Leo placements, and I do not love a cage at all. And so it's just interesting to see, and how many times I've tried to force going back to these places when really it was all recalibration for my nervous system to be able to hold all of the things that I've manifested, that I've desired, that I've longed for, so that they're sustainable going forward. Because so many of us manifest from a place of lack. We manifest from a place of scarcity, or needing to run away to escape the world that we are currently in. And I can tell you, I have lived out many of my manifestations this last year. All manifestations I made prior to my divorce, all manifestations that I created and asked for out of wanting to escape a life that no longer fit me. And it's wild when you are in a manifestation that you parade for so long and you realize this actually doesn't fit me. I have actually outgrown my manifestation that I longed for so long. And it's not to say that it's gone in forever, right? Like, I got to live in a van for a week and a half this year. I car camped for the first 6 months of this year. All things that I had wished for years. And when it finally happened, it wasn't as glamorous as I thought it would be. And that version of me who was running away from everything, she no longer existed. In fact, it was more of a homecoming moment than anything. And although I could deeply appreciate where I was, I knew that I had outgrown these things because I've done so much work on myself. And so my question for you is, especially going into this new year and the year of the fire horse in February, and everyone has maybe some New Year's resolutions or goals, is to look at your manifestations and ask yourself, does this feel true to me and who I'm becoming, or the version of me that is sitting here now? And know that it's okay to change. But it's an invitation to go deeper into your heart, to listen to what you truly desire. It's an invitation to come home to yourself. And it's an invitation to set intentions going into this new year, or this next version of you. And know that change is our only constant in this life. Everything else is temporary. Everything is impermanent. So wild when you think about it like that. So I'm curious, what's alive within you? What was sparked from this? Feel free to leave it in the comments. Or just sit with it. Because if I've learned anything, not everything is meant to be shared with the world. Some things are just for us. How special is that we get to experience that? My hope for you is that you find everything that you're seeking. May it be right in front of you, right underneath your nose. And I'm wishing you so much love going into the year of 2026. I love y'all so much. I'll see you on the next one.